Good afternoon. Welcome to the channel. My name is Travis. What I wanted to do with this video was The Matrix is an important movie to me. There's a lot of good philosophies in there. And kind of what I wanted to do here with this video was give a breakdown and an analysis of a scene and give my take on it, my philosophy of what's going on. So there's a scene in the movie where Morpheus is taking Neo to see the Oracle for the first time. And the Oracle is somebody in the movie who helps show the path to people. She's a guide for people. So Morpheus is taking Neo to see her. So when Neo arrives at her apartment and walks into the kitchen where she is, um, he is going there, some context. He is going there and he isn't sure that he is the one. He doesn't believe it yet. So he goes there and the oracle says, so what do you think? Are you the one? And he doesn't know. And she points to a sign above the door and says, do you know what that means? And he says, no. And the sign is Latin and it's Temet Norse. And what it means is know thyself. And she proceeds to tell him that, you know, knowing you're the one is like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. And then she says, okay, well, let me see here. And then she proceeds to give him an examination like a doctor. She turns his head, she checks him out and everything like that. And she looks at him and she says, but you already know what I'm going to say. And he says, I'm not the one. And she says, sorry, kid, you have the gift, but you look like you're waiting for something. Um, and then she sits down and they proceed to have another conversation. And she says, you want some more news? And she says, there's going to come a point where you will have Morpheus' hand in one life, and you will have Morpheus's life in one hand, and your life in another. And one of you is going to die, and you're going to have to choose. And what's going on there is death in that scene does not mean a physical death, it means a mental death. He, at some point in his life here, Neo is going to have to decide, is he the one or is he not the one? Is Neo the one or is he Thomas Anderson? He's going to have to make a choice, and the death is going to be a mental death of one of those personalities. That is kind of my breakdown of what's going on there. So the scene is basically know yourself. And why is that important in real life? If we don't know ourselves, somebody else will be there to tell us who we are. Um, the system that we live in, the matrix that's around us, will tell us who we are if we don't know ourselves. We are bombarded every day with information about what we should value, what we should want in life, what the coolest stuff is to have, what kind, how much money you need to have, what, all these things, your identity is your job. You need to have a good job. There's all these things in life to tell us who we are and what to value. And if we don't know ourselves, that creeps in and it starts to create a distorted lens through which we see reality. Um, so you need to know yourself, and that comes with time and inner reflection. Um, it is definitely a discipline to know yourself. So that's just kind of my quick breakdown on what's going on in that scene, and how I feel it relates to life, and what we can do to free our minds from all the noise that's around us, telling us who we are, instead of actually knowing who we are and knowing the path that we want to walk. Because when you don't know who you are, you're walking a path that somebody else wants you to walk. And I think that's why, a lot of people feel so trapped, and a lot of people are just going through the motions every day in life. Wake up, work, do the routine over and over again, and they're just existing, and they're not living life. Just existing is not a fulfillment of life. So it's important that we know ourselves. So I think I'm going to leave the video there. Like and subscribe and follow me. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.